U.S. water crisis. Our water was poisoned. 5 years ago, the water in Flint, Michigan turned toxic. Today, many residents still can't drink from their taps. How could this have happened in the United States? And why isn't it fixed yet? Some kids are afraid of spiders or snakes or ghosts, but in Flint, Michigan, children are terrified of tap water. It started in April 2014 when smelly yellow and orange liquid began flowing from the faucets in people's homes. Some residents developed mysterious health problems, red, scaly rashes, and painful stomach cramps. Other people's hair began to fall out in clumps. For months, Flint residents complained that the water was poisoning them, and for months, state officials said the water was safe until they admitted it wasn't. In the fall of 2015, those officials confirmed people's worst fears. Flint's water was contaminated with lead and highly toxic metal. Lead that is a highly toxic metal. Exposure to lead can cause serious health problems, including brain damage in young kids. And for a year and a half, Flint residents had been drinking the poisoned water and using it to cook and bathe. Within months, city, state, and federal officials all declared a state of emergency in Flint. Donations of money and bottled water poured in from around the country. But the damage had been done. Flint's nearly 100,000 residents, including 8,000 kids under age 6, had been exposed to alarming levels of lead, and 12 people had died from a disease linked to the tainted water. Today, more than 5 years after the crisis started, Flint's residents are still being advised not to drink or cook with tap water. Imagine if that were you. What if you couldn't drink the water from your faucet? What if taking a shower could give you a terrible rash, and you might get sick if you used water from the sink to brush your teeth? Unsurprisingly, the people of Flint feel ignored and angry. For a year and a half, residents of Flint, Michigan had been drinking the poisoned water. They're left wondering, how could their water have been poisoned for so long? Will they ever be able to trust local and state officials? And how can something like this be prevented from happening again? The crisis begins. Flint was once a prosperous Midwestern city. It was one of the biggest manufacturers of cars and auto parts in the United States. But that industrial boom ended in the 1980s when General Motors, a major car company, closed its factories there. In the decades since, the city has struggled with high unemployment and crime. Today, boarded up houses, failed stores, and empty lots dot the city. More than 40% of the population lives in poverty, compared with the national average of about 12%. Flint's financial struggles are at the root of the water crisis, some experts say. In April 2014, Michigan state officials tried to save the city millions of dollars a year by changing Flint's source of water from Lake Huron, one of the 5 Great Lakes, to the Flint River. But the river water was polluted. It was full of contaminants that corroded Flint's aging lead pipes that released the metal into the water supply. The toxic mix flowed into Flint's houses and schools. Scientists say the water should have been treated with chemicals to prevent corrosion, but wasn't. Our water changed, says Flint resident Quayne Johnson, now 12. Sometimes it looked brown. Great Lakes, a chain of 5 freshwater lakes along the U.S.-Canada border. Lake Superior, Michigan, Huron, Erie, and Ontario have coastlines along 8 states and make up the world's largest freshwater surface. Lead, a durable metal, long used for water pipes dating as far back as ancient Rome. However, lead is toxic and can accumulate in the body, so water suppliers in the U.S. and other countries are phasing it out in plumbing work.